Good morning. It's Tuesday already. Holy cow. I think this week is going to zip by. I don't know why. I just kind of have that feeling. So, welcome back. I'm going to go through some numbers, going to show you some interesting things. Not any big changes, but going to touch on the importance of an inspection. I'm going to show you the Central Corridor or Phoenix, in case you haven't seen that before, what's available. And then we're going to go zip up to the city of Surprise, where there's a lot of activity. And there's some decent prices up there, but it's way far out in the West Valley, so I want to show you where that is. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to touch on, I kind of had a little bit of a medical episode that scared the living daylights out of me the past 2 weeks. Everything's fine, but I thought, since we're all friends here, I thought I'd share what was going on because I think there was some information I found out that I think will help you. So I'm going to dive into that a little bit and show you some interesting stuff. Had a little heart scare. So, but found out yesterday I am good. So anyway, let's take a look at the numbers. The numbers today, we have 4,190 homes available. We didn't dip below 4,000, which you normally do on a Tuesday. We might do it tomorrow. Not that that's significant, but I keep waiting for that number to come up. And as I go and I take a look at mortgage rates, let's see, where am I at here? Oh, I'm going to go back to the Cromford report here for just a second. And we're going to take a look at these numbers here. Yeah, my head's not in the way good. Right towards the end here, this is the buyer's index going down to 111 with 100 being normal. It's continuing to go down. And inventory is kind of bottoming. It's not really going any lower. It's just kind of staying right there. Until those numbers meet, we're going to continue to have these huge price increases. Oh, newsflash, that home for $680,000 that I said, wow, I think they kind of shot for the moon. It's under contract. It's crazy out there. It's man, oh man, it's I don't know what to say. Mortgage rates back near the lowest levels in weeks. This is encouraging. And they're saying based on the ground covered so far this year and the risk for additional upward pressure in the future, merely holding steady is a victory. So they're saying, where rates haven't really come down, but boy, we're glad they're holding steady because March was kind of brutal in the mortgage rate market. Now, if you want to calculate your mortgage payments when you're looking at buying a home, on my website, I have a mortgage calculator here that you can take a look at. The link to the website is in the body below. And I found an article in Forbes here, 12 important steps in buying a home that no one talks about. It's an interesting article. I put the link in below. You can take a look at that. Consider potentially hidden costs. They really kind of talk to you about what to be prepared for. You're going to get in the house, but you should kind of set up a reserve account for repairs. And then one of the interesting one is here is prepare for functional obsolescence. In other words, eventually your AC is going to go out. There's all kinds of things that are going to fail over time. There's also architectural obsolescence. In other words, when you get inside, wow, 10 years from now, people might not like your kitchen layout. So there's a lot to consider when buying a home. So interesting article, thought I'd link that out there to you. Let's take a look. I'm going to talk about inspections because we're seeing more and more people waiving inspections and just going ahead and accepting a house. But how much is really involved in inspections? So I want to show you an inspection report we had from a couple of months ago. And I think you'll find it interesting in that the detail that they go into. And this is why you and I can't find this stuff. Inspectors are trained to, look for things that you and I can't see. So you end up with a pretty long report. In other words, anything from the roofing to the lawn sprinklers is gone over. And Terry says supply and demand, NAR said there are 1 million homes for sale and currently 1.4 million agents. That's about right. In Arizona, I think we have 50 or 60,000 agents, but a lot of agents are hanging their license just so they can buy and sell their own properties. So there's a lot of what I call non-functioning agents, but it is tough out there. There's a lot of competition, Terry, and you know that as well because you're an agent. So this one you can see that they talk about the roofing. So they look at the tile. This tile spot right here needs some repair work. There's some potential leak points on the patio cover. Some inspectors get up on the roof. Others use, if it's a tall roof, they use a drone to take a look at the roofing. Skylights, he's got skylights are good. And then they go into a lot of detail in the electrical systems. Now this house hardly had anything wrong with it at all, so it's a very clean report. So when you look at heating and cooling, he's showing that there's a good split. Here's the heat temperature. There's a drain pan up where your condensation pipe is up in the attic, and if there's anything clogged up there, you'll have leaks in your roof, so they always check that out. They look at the attic insulation, want to make sure that everything's good up there and that there is insulation. Sometimes they've gotten the roof and there's nothing there. So a good dryer vent, that's really important. The dryer vent goes out if there's a hole in it, starts filling your attic full of that stuff, and that's a problem. And then bathrooms and plumbing systems. And they get in there and they talk about your vent for your gas hot water, your water heater. It's a new system. And then the left wall main fuel shut off at the gas meter outside the left wall. They show you where that's at. And then they kind of give you a list of maintenance items so you can look at. So I just don't recommend skipping an inspection. They cost you anywhere from $400 to $650, and they're worth it. And they go over a lot of things. The one we looked at yesterday had a few things that needed addressing. So today we fill out what's called the buyer's inspection response report, which gives the seller the opportunity. We're requesting them to fix a few items, and they can say yes or no. So, we take a look at that. Let me show you the central corridor here before I show you Surprise. And this is what I call the central corridor. This is Central Avenue in Phoenix, and I just drew a box right here. Man, there's some beautiful homes in that area. So this is John McHone used to live right about here. Before he bought his condo. There's some big yards out there, big properties, deep properties. This one here is $850,000. It's very expensive. There's a bridle trail right along Central Avenue where people walk. You don't see a lot of horses there nowadays. Here's one for $1.375 million. Beautiful home. It should be for that price, right? And you can see the interior there, and pretty spectacular. There's a nice home theater for you. Don't have to worry about going out and sitting with everybody else. Here's one here for 1.7. Look, a little bit of Spanish architecture to it. So it's kind of neat to go up there and just drive around some of these neighborhoods and look. I mean, they're very tree-lined streets. Here's one for 2.2. Check that out. So Central Corridor is wildly different from any other part of the valley down here, and it's an interesting place. Let's pop up to Surprise and let me show you where that is in relationship to the rest of the valley. So here we are down here in Phoenix. There's Chandler and Gilbert and Mesa down here. All these green dots are Surprise. This is a new freeway called the 303 that loops all the way around. So Phoenix is designed, we have the 101 that goes all the way around. On the East Valley, we have the 202. Now the 202 goes up to the 10 right here. So you got a loop here, you have a loop down here, then you have a loop up here. So you got the 101, the 202, and the 303. Out here is Luke Air Force Base. So you have a lot of jets flying over. Sun City West, pretty nice homes up there. But look what you get in the city of Surprise and why it's getting popular, especially for over 55, but not necessarily for over 55. There are some new developments. Let me go to the map right here. A lot of new construction going out here by the White Tank Mountains. This is the White Tank Mountains. So a lot of new construction right there. When you look at the list, the first thing that comes up in this area, especially when you're looking at over 55, is they actually have some pretty nice little modular home parks, which, may not seem attractive to you at all. But, I mean, check this one out for $72,000. If you want to be a snowbird going back and forth, this is a budget-friendly alternative. And these parks up there are very nice. They've got swimming pools, pickleball, community golf. So, this is pretty nice interior here. And again, it's only $72,000. You end up paying a lot fee, And let's see what this one is here. They run about anywhere from $400 to $700 a month for the lot fee. I can't recognize that one quickly, can't find it. So, but let's get down to single family housing. Here's a new one here for $399. The pictures are kind of small. Here's one for $345, and it is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,200 square feet. So that's not a bad price out there, and you can see why this is what makes this area attractive. Relatively newer home, and there are a bunch of those out there. There are some bidding wars. Not so many in the over 55 communities. I'm a broken record when I keep saying that, but this is a nice area. Here's some new builds. They always show the photos. Still, there's a 6 to 8 month wait for new builds. Here's something for $379. Nice home. Get up a little farther up in the 400,000 range, and you'll see some bigger places. Here's $399,900. I always kid about that. They don't mark the house $399,000. It's $399,900. So if you're searching for a house from $400 to $450, you won't find this one. It's $399,900. Nice home though. So that's an area to consider if you are not working downtown, because that commute is awful. Coming down to 303 is not bad, but when you get on the 10 here and you're marching into downtown, it is a death march. That traffic is terrible. It's the same way coming from the 60 and going into Phoenix. So where you work is very important. Now, a lot of people that are working from home love living up here, because if you want to go to Sedona for the weekend or Flagstaff, you're just going to zip up the 303 here and you're on the 17 and away you go. So it's nice and close, relatively speaking, versus being down here in the East Valley. So something to consider when you're looking for homes. And I'm not seeing, I saw a whole bunch of listings pop up on Saturday, and I was very encouraged, especially in that area, Ocotillo, that I track. And I track it just as a barometer, just to see. It's not the only area I work, but it just kind of, they used to have 85, 95 homes for sale, and at one point they got down to where they only had 3. And I believe I took a look at it today, and a lot of those homes popped off. Let me see what happened here. I think we got up to 11 yesterday, and I think they slowed down to, there's 5. So, when the homes come up, they're gone over the weekend, and that's what happened. So you got to be quick, folks. There's no other way to stress that. Now, what happened to me, and why am I telling you this? Well, I had allergies, and I went to an allergist, and I said, I'm tired of these things. So it was great. Went to the allergist and got a full list of everything that I'm allergic to, which is pretty much everything in Arizona. Summer grass and winter grass. And so he said, well, a part of this, I want to do an x-ray on your lungs, because I want to rule out anything going on with your lungs. They sound good. I'm not worried about it, but I want to do a CT scan on your lungs. So I went and got the CT scan. And then the doctor called me, and he says, hey, I got the results from your CT scan. And he said, they're good. And I just hit a button there that I didn't want to hit. Excuse me a second. There. He said, they're good. I'm not worried about it. And then he said the dreaded word, however. Inside the CT scan, they're saying that they found one of your arteries that has a lot of calcium. And this is 2 weeks ago. And he said, I want you to get an appointment with a cardiologist ASAP, and don't exercise, and take it easy. Wow, that's fabulous. So I got in. Here it is, folks. This is your heart. There's my artery right there. Kind of frightening, huh? Big old calcium thing. This is your spine. These are your ribs. So last week, now I'm taking it easy. I'm hardly doing anything. And so last week I went in for a echocardiogram, an ultrasound, and a stress test. And then I had to wait until yesterday to go in for results. I sit in the doctor's office, and he comes in. I ask me what I do for a living, and I'm sitting there all stressed out, thinking, "Great, they're going to put in a stent. What am I going to do here?" Now, I don't smoke. I don't My diet's good. I've never had anything show up in my blood test that says that my calcium's out of control. This just came out of nowhere. So there was nothing that would indicate that there was a problem in there. So he finds out I'm in real estate. So he's sitting there talking about real estate. And I'm like, come on, tell me the results. Stop the small talk. So he said, no, everything looks good. He goes, your stress test, you passed it with flying colors. Everything was great. We don't see any issues there at all. And I said, well, what about the calcium? And he goes, well, calcium shows up and bounces off real good on a CT scan, but it's very minimal. And he said, so there's really no buildup in there at all. So he said, your blood flow is fine. You don't have any blockages anywhere at all. You just have a small buildup of calcium up in that one artery, which is pretty common for people your age. But the warning to everybody that I want to tell you is get one of these CT scans. If you're over, I'd say 45, get one, because this doesn't show up until it's too late. So, they're not that expensive. You can privately pay for them. And I think they're anywhere from $100 to $300 if you wanted to get one done. And, don't have any surprises. They call this the hidden killer. And calcium can just show up. And if you're a smoker, calcium's definitely going to be there. So anyway, it was a very nerve-wracking couple of weeks, and thanks for bearing with me on that. And I'm glad it's over, and I'm glad everything's great. I can finally start exercising and not worrying about things. I mean, I was washing the truck and thinking, ooh, I better take it easy. And so I'm glad that's over. So I I don't wish it on anybody. And so thanks for letting me share that with you. I know I'm kind of getting to know all of you guys on here on the channel. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at rick@rickhelps.com. Have a fabulous Tuesday and make the best of it. Take care, everybody.